Ladies and gentlemen, this is Natali, Koval, Matchmaking Boutique Possible, and today we have a very special meeting. I've caught a spy. This is Dan from Canada, and this is Natali Koval, Matchmaking Boutique Possible. I'm a relationship expert, international matchmaker, and 25 years in business in matching people from all over the world. And today I caught a spy because Ben is not a client, he's a friend. He came on his own looking for love, looking for a relationship. He gave up his job, he changed his life routines to be here, and since I know his little secret, I invited Ben to share some of these thoughts with you, because there are guys who are watching my channel and who are coming on their own, dating girls, or they are writing to go through different websites, and I would like you to learn more from first-hand experience that Ben has, and I want to strengthen you with all this information that will make your new love story possible. So Ben, can you please say a few words? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. So COVID decided to have its another wave in Canada, and Canada locked down again, and I just got off work, and I told my boss hey, I need a break from this because I don't want to be locked down at home on my days off. So I decided to come to Ukraine and finally look for love, actually invest some time and effort into it. Because I thought about dating before in the past, online, trying to meet girls through Russian Cupid and stuff like that, but I wasn't having very good results. I was meeting a lot of scams and stuff like that. So I thought, hey, I'll take the summer off, I'll come to Ukraine and I'll check it out and see what it's like. And boys, you are in for a surprise, because boy, oh boy, is it ever different than back home, back in Western countries.
That's my next question. Mm-hmm. Why you're not dating Canadian girls and travel all over the world, meeting women? What's so different? Nothing's wrong with women everywhere. We're just products of modern day society, and we live in the world that reveals right in front of us. But what you are looking for that takes you out of your own country?
Okay, so the big thing with Western girls that I find is they're very combative. They're kind of like boss babes, so they'll work all the time. They're the boss at work, or when you're in a career where you're in a corporate atmosphere or something like that, you have to be tough and you have to be combative with people. And women have a hard time shutting that off. So when they come home from working all the time and fighting all day, they tend to fight with you too. And so I was looking for a woman with more traditional values and traditional way of thinking. And I heard nothing but good things about Ukraine. Actually, how I knew about Natali is I seen this really old YouTube video where she set up this British guy that came over here to Ukraine, and the woman was a 10 out of 10. She was a stunner, an absolute babe. And I thought, wow, if average girls are like this, I could only imagine, because you're walking around Canada, you're going to see a lot of obesity. Obesity in the West is huge. And women that are very, very masculine. So what you'll notice when you get here to Kyiv is sundresses everywhere. Girls are dressed, very, very conservatively. They look awesome. And they're not covered in tattoos and piercings if that's not your thing. So it was a huge, eye opener for me. I was just wow, this kind of traditional woman actually exists, and there's a lot of them. So.
Talking about women and internet and all that stuff, yes, there are lots of scams everywhere. People know about it. But the thing is that, did you notice how digital Ukraine now? I tend to see that good girls live offline. They are away from Insta. They go to school. They walk their dog, or maybe they go to gym. But what's your experience in it?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot less girls here on Insta. They don't focus on their accounts as much as in a Western girl. When you go on Tinder in the West, this is their Insta plug is on everything. Here, you're not going to see that as much. Definitely like 18, 19, 20, if you look at those girls, like they're plugging their Instas. Like if you don't have a good Insta that's going to catch her eye, you're not going to get those girls. But girls older than that, yeah, you're not going to see it as much. They're looking for somebody with substance, somebody who is like legitimately looking for marriage. There's not the huge hookup culture here like there is in the West. Girls are definitely more interested in family. Family is very important in Ukraine.
I didn't pay him to say that.
Oh, no.
I didn't pay him to say that. I just asked the question. But the thing is that, do you see the difference of using Tinder in Canada and in Ukraine?
Oh, huge difference, obviously.
What is the difference?
Oh, there's a tremendous difference. Okay, so Tinder in the West is like fake accounts, has a lot of them. There's girls that are like morbidly obese. There's a lot of them. There's the feminists in their bio saying how much they hate men, or men are evil, men are pigs, or whatever, you know, you want to say. There's loads of that. And then there's like the girls that are like, I'm career woman. I only have one day of the month that we can meet. So if you don't like that, you know, swipe left or... Oops. And then there's a lot of them that are like obsessed with like political affiliations and stuff like that. So if you're, you know, on the left or on the right or whatever, they'll put it on their bio and they'll discredit you just based on that. Where like Ukraine, the women are actually looking for like, you know, qualities that would, you know, end up in a long-term relationship that are like matter, that's important. So I was surprised about that. I think the big thing you guys are gonna find with Ukrainian women that I loved is they're honest. They're so honest. So when they ask you a question, they're like, do you like this? You know, are you interested in this? And it's not a game. They really want to know. So their shit tests are kind of like different. What they want to know is, are you seriously into them? Are you going to cheat? Are you a good guy? And they'll ask you straightforward questions, and they want straightforward answers. And as long as you are, you know, honest and open with them, then you should have a really good experience with Ukrainian women.
Oh yeah. I remember some girls are telling me that they like asking the same question different ways and different dates, and they do like, oh, how about this? And then they will exactly, did you notice that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
catch your line.
Yeah.
That's how they can detect you.
Well, I mean, like that's a typical woman thing for, you know, to catch you in your lies and stuff like that. But it's important because they're vetting you. You know, it's not like, oh, women bad kind of thing. Like they want to see if you're a good guy or not. And this is how they do it, because women communicate differently than men.
Yeah, they build in trust. And plus when you're a foreigner, here in Ukraine, it's kind of different. As a foreigner, do you feel they like you more or they are more suspicious to you? Because I hear different opinions.
Okay.
Are they more cautious with you as a foreigner?
Speaking from personal experience, just speaking English in a crowd, then you're going to get attention. You know, obviously, if you're something different, if you're something new, you know, girls are going to like that. Like it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're something different, like there's going to be attraction there from certain people. Are all girls going to like you? No, obviously not. But you're going to get attention more, and that girl's going to be more open to, you know, communication with you. You can approach her, cold approach her on the street. Like in the West, I wouldn't recommend it as much because, yeah, you might.
That's not going to happen, right?
Well, I mean, like you might, you know, get a rude reply. Oh yeah, the woman might, you know, like, and then take off or whatever. But I'm not saying all women, of course, but in Ukraine, you can approach women. You can talk to them, and they will not like.
Of course, look at you. You're like you're babe. Like a hot guy like this coming to a woman. Yes, like it's like mesmerizing. It's like a snake, you know. So like guys, if you're hot like him, like but. Like for guys who aren't like on top beauty, girls are kind of, I see them more suspicious, especially if they're older guys, and girls like, especially like real older guys, if they are approaching much younger girls, which I see also.
Okay, yeah, in that sense, then they're definitely going to be thinking, are you here just for hookup, or are you here for just like, because there's like a huge sex Like they come here just for prostitutes or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like,
for
that's the first thing you notice when you get on Tinder. As soon as you start swiping, you're like, wow, I got so many hot girls that are interested in me. And then you get the escort ads.
Oh.
Yeah, so you'll end up like the first 5 or 6 matches I got or whatever were like, oh yeah, I really want to meet you. I'm interested in you. And it's like, wow, is this real? And then they'll give you their phone number or whatever, and then they'll start sending you messages, and it'll be brah, filled with pretty girls, and then what they do, and their, the number to get them and stuff like that.
The price.
Yes.
How much is
Cheaper than America.
Okay.
100% cheaper than America. I mean, like if that's the kind of thing that you're into, obviously you're not watching Natalie's channel.
Yes,
Obviously not, because that's fleeting or whatever. Like, what you really want, and the reason why you're watching this show is because you want a wife, you want a family, you want, where she respects you as a man, where you might not get that in the West. Like you probably haven't experienced it a whole lot growing up in a Western country where like men are kind of the bad guy and stuff like that. When you come to Ukraine, you'll notice like the women consider the man the head of the household. His voice matters, his thoughts and feelings matter.
We want to shift the responsibility. You make the decisions. Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, sure. Hey, women like the man to take charge. Yeah, definitely. Advice though, definitely. When you go on a date with Ukrainian women, pay for dinner. None of this 50-50 BS. Pay for dinner. I'm serious. It's the culture, how things are over here. I've heard stories.
I didn't pay him to say that.
No, I mean like meals here are way cheaper in the West. Come on, if you can't afford a meal here, like what are you doing here? But they're gonna look at you like you're not the man. Like there's none of that 50-50 nonsense here. Like you take charge, and you'll notice that when you do that, when you do pay for the meal or you pay for the Uber or Bolt ride or whatever it is, and you take them out for something nice or whatever, they're gonna reciprocate that, and they're gonna look at you as like a man that is worthy of their attention and time.
That's what I recommend.
Yeah, 100%. Like.
Yeah. So now, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no, of course. I've heard stories from girls telling me about how they had friends that were married to foreign guys, and that foreign guy, was like, no, we have to 50-50 everything, and they actually broke up with those guys because of that. Like, this is very important to them to show that you are the man. And like, if you're watching this kind of video, you want to be the man. You want to feel that, that feeling. You're tired of like, in the West of like, we're 50-50, and oftentimes women are higher than you, and you have to like kowtow to her and what she wants and everything, and go along with it. You don't have to do that here. You suggest what you want to do. You tell them like, hey, I'm really interested in this. I want to do it, and they'll make it happen for you. You just pay that little bit of money and you get in there and you watch, whatever thing you want to see. You'll eat where you want to eat. They'll have really good recommendations for things for you as well. Ukrainian women are great at showing you like, traditional things, and you walk around the town. Kyiv is a beautiful city, and they'll tell you about the history of different buildings and stuff. Like Ukrainian women are very cultured. They know a lot of things about their own country. Like if you ask a typical Canadian American girl, like, hey, what is this or what is it? They'll have no idea, like in their own cities, right? But from what I've seen, Ukrainian women are very well knowledgeable about Ukraine.
But coming back to the 50-50 thing, in the families that I have helped creating, in this more than 160, I don't know the exact number, but I've written down 160 that I could put for sure. And they have like more than 70 kids already. So that's kind of my statistics. But the point is that I remember girls selling their apartments here and investing in a house together in America or in Canada. That they do. I know cases when a woman was helping her husband because he was like in between contracts and they were low on money, and she went to clean the houses. She was like making like, I don't know, $50 an hour or so, and she helped because, well, it was a temporary thing, and then the guy remembers that forever. And these are like real relationships, because from and correct me if I'm wrong, but from like around like almost 100 years for now, we are used to feminism in terms, like in normal terms, because Ukrainian women have always been equal to men. Even from the Cossacks times, men were gone, so the woman was in charge, so she was responsible for everything. And when guy was coming back, she was standing like this, telling him, yeah, you're too drunk to have sex with me now, so go sleep, or like you misbehaved, and she will be scolding him. Not because she's bossing him, but because she's being like the voice of common sense. But then in the early, like in 1920s, with all this industrialization starting, women started to have the jobs, and this whole global tendencies came here first because men were like extinct from wars, from Stalin repressions, from Lenin, from all these guys that made a like big purpose to destroy the population of the country. And women had no choice but be in charge, and we have the sense of growing up working. Yeah, some women, like, yeah, they are stars, they are princesses, and she's like a queen to a king or something, but they are very little. Usually a woman is saying, I want to work, I want to be helpful, I want to like have many women. Now, I deal with single women most of the time, but I am very active when I see married women and I interview them, and she says, I can't imagine myself like sitting in the sandbox playing with kids for too long. Like, I'm bored.
Yeah, I've heard that. But everything that you're describing is the difference between like a partner and a competitor. Now, in the West, you'll end up having competitors. So the Western women are trying to compete with you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the difference. So when you're talking about like the 50-50 in that sense, they're your partner. They're trying to help you. Like they're building something with you. Where in the West, they go, oh, you couldn't pay the bills this month? Get out. We're done. Oops. So that's where like, yeah, okay, the initial investment is just to show Ukrainian women that you're of value, that you value the relationship, that you care about this person. So of course you should invest initially, but once she sees that and she picks you to be her partner, she will support you. And if you need help, she will, help you in that.
Yeah. In good and bad, like in the bad.
Yeah, in good and bad, for sure. But you have to prove that to her first.
Yes.
Like, that's the important part. You can't be a bum and just expect a queen,
Thank you for saying that. Well, I have a feeling sometimes when I'm like having some guys calling me, or just when I'm walking on the streets and I see, and the attitudes that I catch, like many men think, and now correct me if I'm wrong, okay? So that's a thought, an idea, that Ukraine is a third world, because what they hear about Ukraine is like bad economy, revolution, war in the east, and all these disasters, and we always appear in the bad news. Well, nobody, like very few people know about these like super duper high tech airplanes that Ukraine is producing, about IT industry that we are in the top 5, about like top 5 grain producers, about top 5 honey producers, about like intellectual industry that we are in. Like, no, people hear the bad news. And guys are having an attitude of like, okay, I'm old, fat, and ugly. I'm now come to Ukraine, finding somebody like I can never catch in my country because I am from America or Canada or maybe France. So I am like a world man, so I can get any money I want. What do you think of this?
You can't. No, if you're a slob, obviously if you don't take care of your body and you got a rotten attitude like that you think you're better than them in some way, like Ukrainian girls are going to pick up on that right away. They're going to see you. Yeah, you might get some, attention or whatever from girls that sell themselves just physically or whatever. Yeah, sure, but they're just going to use you. Yeah, no, don't think that just because you're some big fat pig and you got a little bit of money, you're going to get all the hotties. No, because like even whatever attention that I got from girls and I talking to them, stuff like that, like they're very skeptical. They're looking at me and thinking like, are you real? Like, what are you thinking? Like, did what you just say, is that true? And they're vetting me as well. When these girls meet me and they talk to me and stuff like that, in their mind, they're trying to figure out like, are you of quality? Because regardless of how you look, if your actions and your words aren't showing that you do have some value or whatever, they're gonna know. Like, Ukrainian women aren't stupid. Like, don't come here thinking Ukrainian girls are dumb, because they're not.
We are actually like in the top 10 educated nation
Sure,
of the
I don't
world.
doubt it. I don't doubt it.
It's like Britain is on the 36th place, just as an example. It was like last year, like poll information, and that's what I.
Yeah, but the amazing thing is like, as intelligent as Ukrainian women are, they're very humble about it. And the thing that'll blow your mind when you talk to Ukrainian women that you're not going to see in the West is that they don't think that they're like the best. Like, you might look at the girl and you're like, wow, man, she's an 8, she's a 9. Like, whew, her personality, her looks, her everything, she's got it together. But that girl does not think of herself that way.
She may say, like, I'm a super hot.
Sure,
like,
she could, to try to show off her, like, put that wall up or whatever. But in her mind, she's constantly wondering and thinking, like, am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I this? Am I that? And the reason behind a lot of it, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is that the competition is fierce here. When you look around, you're going to see, now, oh my God, you look around, you see gorgeous women all over the place. It's just all over the place. It's unreal. And you will see this from like small towns, the big cities, to all over the place. You can see pretty girls everywhere. And so obviously, supply and demand, if there's a lot of pretty girls, then they're going to have to try harder to get a partner. And a lot of them, from what I've heard, a lot of them that just, settle for some Ukrainian guy or whatever, they're not as happy. They know that their value is high, but they're looking around and they might not have the money or the time or whatever to travel and go other places. But
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our men are spoiled here.
Oh, and they don't know it. They have no idea. I'm talking to Ukrainian guys and they're like, their attitude is just like, what? No, they're not that pretty. And like, really? So tell me where they are. So tell me where these pretty girls are if Ukrainian women are pretty, because you're delusional, man.
Yeah. Talking about wedding bells. Why do you think a Ukrainian girl can make a good wife? Do you think?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
What is her marriage market value for a Western guy?
Very high. Extremely high.
Explain.
Okay. So what she'll offer you, as like what we described a little bit earlier, is that she's going to be a partner, like a solid partner to you. Somebody that, a lot of Ukrainian women want to get married and they want to have kids. There's definitely, the percentage of them that are focused mainly on, jobs and career and stuff like that. But you're going to meet a lot of Ukrainian women that want to be the mom, want to have the kids, want to be the wife. And you'll have somebody that will give you ideas or thoughts on like how to improve yourself as a man. And as long as you take that as like from a place of like caring, love and stuff.
She will criticize you.
She will. Yeah, for sure.
Do you know that criticism is our love language? There are 5 love languages, but we've invented the 6th criticism.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I totally see it. Yeah, you're getting fat. You're this or that. But she's not saying it in a place of like putting you down or anything. Like, she's saying it is trying to like lift you up. Like, hey, I see that you're making these mistakes or whatever, and it's very important that you have like an outside voice or an outside like pair of eyes on you to show you that like, things that you might not see about yourself because, you're in your own head, right?
That's what coach does.
Yeah, sure. She's like your coach.
But the Ukrainian woman is not taking that role. Yeah.
But no, as long as you maintain, that you have some kind of vision or you have some kind of goal and like, this is my plan and this is how I see my life and stuff like that, she's going to complement that.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing. She's going to complement it. So she's going to take your idea and she'll pick like the best. She'll go along with it for the most part, but she'll pick out things that she sees that might not be good for you and give you advice. Of course, at the end of the day, you can say like, no, honey, this is something that I really, really matters to me or whatever. And she will go along with it. She might say like, no, it's bad. No, it's bad. No, you might hear that 3 or 4 times. But if you just keep putting your foot down and saying like, no, this is actually really important to me, she will go along with it. Which I think is a tremendous partner, like, or quality in a partner or whatever, to be a wife, is that, she will, and she, like Natalie said, she wants to work. So my advice would be, unless you have some kind of like career or business where you can come to Ukraine and you're still making good money and you can live a very comfortable life here, my advice, of course, would be to take her back to your country, because your earning potential is going to be a lot higher. She's going to respect you more because you will be making more money than her. If you come here and your goal is to try to get some work here in Ukraine, well, first of all, you probably don't speak Ukrainian or Russian. Second, you don't know the people, you don't know the culture. You have tremendous barriers that you're going to need to get past. And she will be like the head of the household until you figure all that out. And that's a death sentence for a lot of relationships.
Yes, it is. And I was in a very famous charity organization, and members were high-positioned foreigners there. But the organization went down because we ran out of members, because high-positioned foreigners were taken back to their countries, because Ukrainian people have learned the MBAs, the high standard, got themselves educated, and it's cheaper to hire Ukrainians. So we had to completely rethink the whole idea of the charity to do that, to continue doing that. So you can actually come to Ukraine and that's a thought. If you have an idea of a business that
online business most likely is really good. Business, sure.
If you're IT,
IT is very good too.
Or doing business that you come, you explore, you see that this business doesn't yet exist in Ukraine, but it exists somewhere where you live. For example, 3 years ago we didn't have food delivery so much, and now they're blossoming because of COVID, because of all other things. And I see different 5 different companies now delivering on bikes and whatever, even funny outfits,
scooters and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
But that's just an example. But if you have a unique business idea that you can develop in a growing market and make a good living, then you hire smart Ukrainians with MBAs, and they will do the job, pay them well.
So a worry.
And then you will get a girlfriend here also, being the boss.
So a worry that I hear from a lot of guys is well, what happens if I bring the girl back to my country? Isn't she going to become westernized? And there is a possibility that could happen, but you need to vet that girl before you bring her back. You need to talk to her and find out what her core values, what is most important to her. Because if she shows behavior that she's just, monkey branching or whatever, then definitely if you bring her back, she's gonna monkey branch, because there's a better looking dude with more money than you. There always is. There's always a better looking guy. So but from what I found, just talking to Ukrainian girls or whatever, it really isn't that rampant like it is in the West, where you're talking to a girl and then somebody with more clout walks by and then she immediately turns and walks away. That's not going to happen.
That's how guys behave.
Yeah, well.
When he's sitting on a date, sitting with the hottest babe he can catch, and especially foreign guys and girls hate it completely.
I mean, I can see both sides, because obviously growing up in the West or whatever, when you're looking around, there's not a whole lot to see, honestly. So you don't really look around a whole lot. When you do see a good looking girl, it's impressive. But here, there's good looking girls all over the place. So as long as it's just looking, you know what I mean? You'll get used to it though. That's the weirdest thing. It's
get it from a girl. She'll tell you you're not
there'll be some of that for sure. But the weird thing about living over here in Eastern Europe, because I have lived over in Poland for many years, you do get used to it. You will get used to it. When you look around, it won't be as impressive to you anymore. At first, and for the first while, your mind will be blown. You look around, you see groups of 40 girls here, 50 girls there, and they're all gorgeous and they're all well dressed and well mannered and stuff like that. And you're wow. At first, it's going to be overwhelming to you, especially you come from Western society where the girls are generally obese and they're generally they try to be more masculine. They have masculine energy, and it's a huge repellent for most men. Girls are not going to like you if you act feminine. Well, guys are not going to like you if you act masculine. So it's kind of the same thing. But over time or whatever, you'll realize they're just women. You know what I mean? They're not something to be worshipped. They're people, you know, and then what will become most important to you is finding somebody who's like a good match, instead of just like, oh, she's pretty, or she has this nice figure or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll start thinking like other things, especially as you get older too. The importance of like personality and like, you know, core beliefs is way more important than just a super hottie. And there's only super hotties here. There's very like, there's very few like not so pretty girls here, I would say, in Ukraine. Yeah, like no matter what, you're gonna be satisfied with the looks. I can guarantee that.
Ben,
Oh, 100%,
Thank you
100%.
so much. Well, but now we are like slowly coming to a relationship formula, because when I'm talking to guys, there are like always three things that matter. And now, like, what's your opinion about it? First, when you're starting a relationship, and thank you for bringing this content, that first of all, you need to get rid of your heavy emotional baggage. Okay, you're a widower. Work on it. You had like terrible marriage, your wife cheated on you, your child died, God forbid, you know. It's heavy emotional baggage. And people with heavy emotional baggage, men or women, project a lot. That is a killer of any relationship. No matter how great of a person you'll meet, if you'll be projecting, that's gonna kill it. Also, you are emotionally dependent. And you try to cling to somebody who like seems nice to you, and you believe that it's like a real angel. Well, she's a devil. And lots of guys with like emotional dependent, they get into paper letter websites, and they just got stuck there. Like they wake up after like $10,000, $20,000 kind of thing, because they like communication. Guys with a lot of emotional dependent guys, they love attention to themselves. They miss that. They wanted it, and now they're getting it, and they get lost. And like and to other components, when you're dating a girl, is you need there are like 5 major things that have to be like 2 out of them have to be the same, then you can marry a girl. So your vision on children, on job, on faith, spirituality, career, and health. And if you have similar thoughts on like at least 2 of them, the more the better, but at least 2 of them, then you can marry the girl, and you can make it up with all the rest of it. And also your vision of relationship, how you see your relationship going, like important key relationship expectations. You have to discuss that. So what do you think of this? That's my formula. I mean, no, that's not my formula. Like we matchmakers recommend that formula, but what do you think?
Oh yeah, well, of course, emotional stability is like most important. If you have some baggage or something that's bothering you in the past relationships, past trauma, past, whatever, yeah, fix that first.
Psychotherapy.
Yeah, sure. Talk to somebody professionally about it, because you're not ready for a relationship. Until you're solid with your thoughts and your feelings, don't subject someone else to that. You know what I mean? Because you'll just be projecting on them the whole time. If you're not ready, they're not ready, don't get involved. No, it's just gonna fail, 100% gonna fail. But you have to be honest with yourself about that. Like, a lot of people aren't, yeah, I'm ready, they think, yeah, sure, why not? But deep down, there's that feeling where, yeah, my ex used to do this to me, and it really just dug in, and I don't like it. And then you're gonna be bringing it up with your new relationships, and they're not gonna like that, and it'll end very quickly.
Oh yeah. I see women are like treating relationship like a healing stuff for themselves as well. They say, oh no, a new guy will fix it. He'll take me as I am. So it's not only guys that are like living in illusions.
Oh no, of course not. Emotional stability is for everyone, men and women. Like you definitely should not get involved if in your mind is your past relationship. Yeah, no, for sure. But, we have a lot of like feelings over facts in the West, and your feelings are more important and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But like women are not attracted to that over here. Like
Thank you for saying
they're
that.
not. If you're like crying and you're all emotional, or you're like unstable in your feelings or something like that, that is like immediately date killer right there. Like Ukrainian women want strong, masculine men. And you want to feel that. You want to be there, because believe me, that's like the best relationship that you can have. That's the best place for you, is that when the woman looks at you like, you know, you're her man and you've got this and you're solid, they'll stick by you. You know what I mean? You know, whatever problems or things that you're having in your head, you can discuss it with her, but don't get emotional about it.
Oh yeah.
Like, you just be like, hey, this is the problem I have. These are the kind of solutions I'm thinking about. What is your opinion on it? And she'll give you her advice. But yeah, be like.
But you know, like, objection on emotional stuff. You know, when something is really touching, when something really happens, it's okay to see a tear in my eyes. That is, like, from a woman's perspective, that shows humanity.
Depends, though. It depends on what it is. It's like,
how often?
well, often as well too.
Rarely.
I'm like if your mom died, yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
like, yeah, cry or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's like, yeah, you know, I just banged my elbow. Yeah, don't do that. Oh, I've seen guys cry over silly things in the West, and it's promoted. It's promoted to, you know, always have your feelings.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, your feelings are supposed to be at the forefront of your communication skills and stuff like that. But over here in Ukraine, no, you're the man. Stay stoic, and they'll respect you for it way more.
Thank you for saying that, Ben.
Yeah, no, of course.
Thank you.
And as far as as far as like you know, key values and stuff like that in relationships, yeah, definitely communication is key. When you do get over here and you meet the girl and, you know, you click and you're thinking she's the one and this is it, talk about everything. Talk about, you know, your faith, you know, if you're religious, what your religion means to you, you know, how important it is in relationships. Talk about like what you're looking for in a relationship, what your needs are. Because oftentimes a lot of people like have their needs inside of them, but they don't communicate it to their significant other because they're worried about they're going to get rejected or not. And the great thing about here in Ukraine is the Ukrainian women are just like, look, tell me, just tell me. If that's what you really want or that's what you really think, just tell me.
I'll do it for you.
Well, maybe not. There's certain things that I don't do. Well, I mean, like, no, if it's, you know, if it's something that, you know, obviously is not like crazy sexual out of their realm of like, you know, what they're okay with, you know, like, they, you know, Ukrainian women don't like to share. And, but I mean, like, as far as like supporting you in other ways, like, you know, you have something important in your life that you want to accomplish and you tell her like, hey, look, this is something that means a lot to me, whether it's building a business or maybe you want to go back to school for something. If you map out that plan with her and say, look, I want to spend my life with you. I want to be with you. I want you to be my partner. And these are the things that I want to accomplish in my life. She'll support you, you know, unless your idea is like, I don't know, I want to go on OnlyFans and sell pictures of my body or something like that, or some crazy nonsense or whatever. She'll tell you, you know, hey, that's stupid. Why are you doing that?
A question to you. Is it easy to get laid in Kiev?
Wow. Yeah. But
you didn't say that. No, guys, you didn't hear it.
But I mean, like I said, it depends on what you're looking for, right? Like a lot of guys come here just to get prostitutes, and yeah, there's lots of them, man. Ukraine is known for that. If you want to just come here and do that, there's plenty of it. I don't recommend coming here and playing with Ukrainian girls' hearts. Like, just be honest with them. If that's what you really want, if you know, you're looking here for a serious relationship, because I've seen a few guys that came here and they hooked up with a hot girl and they're like, you know, never got this attention before in their life. They couldn't believe it. Oh my God, you know, this absolute smoke show, this baddie was interested in me. Well, I must be something special then. And, and then they start, you know, like, oh, she's not good enough now. You know, maybe her pinky toe wasn't long enough or some, you know, nonsense or whatever. And then they'll run off and they'll go look for the next one and the next one and the next one. And believe me, like, if you do that kind of behavior, if that's the kind of the road that you want to go on, you're going to be single, you're going to be alone, because that becomes an addiction. And it's just like any other addiction that you get addicted to. And then you start treating people like commodity, like, you know, just like an item or something like that. And once you get into that mindset, it's not only toxic for the girls, it's toxic for yourself as well, because you're hurting their feelings, you're hurting their ideas about men, about how, what men should be in their mind. Like you're breaking, their hearts basically.
Yep.
And you're really doing a lot of damage.
But that's heavy emotional baggage. Guys
Yes.
who have heavy emotional baggage.
We'll do that. We'll behave that
will
way.
do that.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously there's the guys that like will do that and they don't have that and they're just kind of There's those guys. Those guys exist too.
Girls too. But
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah. But I would say that there aren't as many, like, it's not like in the West where like, Western girls are just running around, they're smashing, they don't care. Any guy, get a few drinks in them, they'll sleep with a bunch of dudes. Like, you're not going to see that here. Like,
thank you.
You're not going
Thank
to.
you.
No, of course not. And like, Ukrainian girls are going to vet you. You know what I mean? Like, you better have all the right answers. You better have like all the right moves. You better know what to do and everything before they'll even consider you. But when they do consider you, here's the most important part, is that you're in their mind, their life, their heart. You know what I mean? They give you everything. Once you pass all of those...
she loves you basically.
Yeah, pretty much. When you beat all those roadblocks or whatever that she put in front of her, which is important, which she should do, and if you have a daughter, you should teach your daughter that she should, vet men. It's very important. But once you do pass all of those, roadblocks or whatever, you're in. You got a solid partner for life. And
cool. So now logically comes the question, what is the marriage market value for a foreigner to a Ukrainian girl? Now, from your perspective, you've been here for months, you've seen some girls, what do they say and what do you think? Is it worth? I mean,
100%.
Is it? No. For a guy, of course, but but for a girl, a Western guy, what kind of value? Well, okay, you guys live like in a more stable, economically more stable community, and you make more money. But besides that,
yeah, I mean, like Western countries, depending on like whereabouts it is, because obviously there's parts in the United States that are way more dangerous than here. Like there just is. And I know a couple places in Canada that's the same way, that they're just, you wouldn't go there at all. I mean, it's just the truth. Like obviously there's going to be parts like kind of not like that in Ukraine. The only thing you really have to worry about is pickpockets. I heard about that quite a bit. Yeah, sure. Scams, like, as the big thing, tricking you, and you'll pay more for certain things, but in the end, did you really? Because the currency value is very different, right? So yeah, okay, they got a couple extra bucks out of you or something like that. Like, as long as you're not bothered by something like that, it's not a big deal. But as far as like a Ukrainian woman going to a Western country, well, I mean, obviously the benefits are tremendous, because not only is their earning potential like infinitely higher, they'll be able to make way more money than they could here in Ukraine. But they got feminism on their side, telling them that you're the boss, babe, and you're the best, and everything about you is perfect. You don't need to change. And so, I mean, like, yeah, there's upsides and downsides to that too. But like, generally, women are worshipped in Western countries. They're put on a pedestal. They're the greatest thing that ever existed. And so for a Ukrainian woman going over there, she's going to have a tremendous ego boost. Like suddenly, all her insecurities that she had before are going to be, it's just gone. It's like, no, queen, you're a queen. You're like, as a Ukrainian girl, if you're a 5 here, you're an 8 in the West. Like,
or 15.
Like your sexual market value is like infinitely higher. When you go to a Western country as a Ukrainian girl, you're going to be the best looking girl around. You're going to have the best personality. You're going to have the best, like, you'll have no competition at all. But again, then you'll run into the same kind of problems that like a foreign guy that comes here that has everything is going to run into, is abundance. And so these girls are going to have like an abundance of like, men that have lots of money, that are good looking, that are and they're going to have access to these men. But, the same thing is like, if you just play the field or whatever, you're going to end up with nothing or nobody,
You show the difference. You show her ups and downs. You bring her to like a poor neighborhood or, what...
Oh, well, that could happen too. I mean, like, definitely vet the guy before you go. Like, if you're going to live in his trailer park before, like, where do you live? Oh, okay. Yeah, in a trailer, mobile home. Yeah, in Alabama, eh? No kidding. I mean, like, there's there's a high standard of living here in Kyiv. A lot of women have nice places and stuff like that. And, you know, if you're bringing her to the West or whatever, yeah, I mean, like, obviously something comparable or better, right? You want to give her something like that, right?
You know, have you spoken to some Ukrainian guys? And so what I would like to say is like, from my perspective, what I see, because I work with Ukrainian guys and with foreign guys, and I see that foreign guys are like more confident in themselves.
Sure.
And more ambitious.
Okay.
Or like confident in their ambitions, and they know how to build a plan. Because
Yeah.
our guys are living in this society that changes all the time, and they can't rely on the same thing they were relying yesterday. And like, oh, so they are like under big stress, especially if they have like responsible jobs and so on.
Yeah.
So that brings the instability.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they are more spoiled with Ukrainian girl beauty, and
They have no idea.
they have no idea about that. But at the same time, Ukrainian guys are more spontaneous. They will never let you like pay 50-50. He will buy like million roses to you on a date with his last money.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that, you know, that's a cultural thing, right? And they understand the culture. Obviously, they have the home field advantage of understanding, you know, the history of Ukraine and how women work and think and stuff like that. But yeah, they're spoiled by choice here. And a big thing that I hear from Ukrainian girls when they talk to me about like differences between dating foreign guys and Ukrainian guys, foreign guys are just more interesting. Ukrainian guys are boring. And I can see like the reason why is because you don't need to compete. Where's the competition? You want an absolute baddie? Yeah, just go for a walk. And you only need to know like a little bit of English, and suddenly she's interested in you, and like, oh, he's high value in Ukraine. He can speak 5 words of English. So like, you don't need to compete as a Ukrainian guy. So if you don't need to compete, why would you? Why would you develop yourself? But like when you look at a Western guy, oh man, the competition is fierce. There are very few quality women. Let me repeat this. There are very few quality women in the West. And so you have all of the men competing for a very, very small percentage of women. And when that happens, you get like higher quality guys. Now, are there going to be guys generally, are there going to be lots of guys that are like, you know, obese or, you know, don't live with their moms and stuff like that? Yeah. There's that too, definitely. But the guys that are actually out there competing and trying to get interest in women, and they're showing their personalities and stuff like that, developing their personalities, yeah, you're going to find a lot more guys in the West that are more interesting. They have, especially like Western cultures are usually multicultural, so they have an idea about lots of other different countries, where Ukrainian guys only going to know about Ukraine. Yeah. Odds are, what he went to like Zatoka for his holiday or something, you know what I mean? Or like maybe, you know, he had a little bit of money, he went to Turkey or Greece. So like that's the limit of like his understanding of the world. You know, and you have tremendous
on an average. Yes.
Yeah, obviously averages. We got to talk averages here, but yeah. So if you compare that to like a Western guy who has access to people from all different ethnic, you know, backgrounds and everything, they're more likely going to be more interesting and be able to, you know, tell the Ukrainian girl like, hey, I know this about this country or these people or something. So the big thing that I heard from Ukrainian girls is more interesting, but the other thing that I heard is that, you know, we're not drunk all the time. Don't cheat. Ukrainian guys drink a lot.
Oh, well.
A lot.
They relieve their stress. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well. We can't see your comments right now because we're just together, but the comments that are going to follow this video, please write your comments, write your questions. Maybe we'll get back again, and while Ben is still here, we will add some more information.
Yeah, I've seen a comment that they're looking for men to spend money on them. Yeah, initially they're vetting you. That's how they vet you. Like, don't get offended by it. Like, they want to see if you can, you know, support them or be there for it. Yeah, of course. If you can support a family, like, don't get upset. Like, they want to see if you're a quality man or not. You buy them a couple dinners, you take them out, you do some stuff for them, you bring them flowers and stuff. Like, okay, this man wants to invest in me. Yeah. They don't want you to be like, show up and just smash. You know, they know that a lot of guys are coming there to do that. So obviously they're going to vet you first. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a Western chick, you buy her a beer and you're going to sleep with her.
That's pathetic. But, you know, the value of a woman is her sexuality. The value of a man is his finance.
Yeah.
I mean, and how he deals with that, and how, well, guys hate this word generous. But Ukrainian girls love this word, and they are saying they want a generous man. But what men see in it is like they like immediately stick it like gold digger to her. Like she wants a generous man, but she wants a giver. She wants somebody who cares. She wants somebody who can provide and support.
Okay, but see, that's a big difference between like a Western girl and an Eastern, Ukrainian Slavic girl or whatever. Is when they say generous, they're not trying to milk you for everything that you got. Like
some of them.
Well, yeah, okay, but we're speaking in general terms here, or whatever. Like, you can dictate how often you go out. You don't have to go out every single night. She might ask you like, hey, take me out Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, but you can say no, and she'll still be with you. Yeah, you got to invest some money and time and effort into her and stuff like that, but once they pick you, you'll start seeing that they'll start buying you dinners, or they'll start paying for certain things like bus ticket or train tickets. They will invest in you backwards. It's not like that they just always have their hand out. Like, I mean, like, when I heard all of these stories before I came to Ukraine, I was just really wondering, like, yeah, are they really like that? Am I going to get here? And like the girls just going to constantly be like, yeah, what's next? Yeah, give me more.
No, they do it to guys who are considerably older.
Oh, sure.
Than them.
Sure.
Like 15 plus years older. Then they, because that's, we believe in our culture that like a big asset of a guy who is mature, who is like 45 plus, is his stability, it's like it's the money that he has. And
okay, but like,
and how he uses it and how smartly he can manage it.
Right. So a guy that's like 45, 50 or something, and you're chasing the young girls, because we're all chasing the young girls, of course they're going to expect a lot more financial investment for their return. Like a young guy with a little bit of money is going to go a lot further than an older guy with a little bit of money. But you got to understand from her perspective, like obviously she doesn't really want to sleep with you. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to really show her that you're somebody worth investing in, right? Right? Like, doesn't that make sense? Like, do you want to, sleep with 60-year-old women? No, why?
Talking about age.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is important.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Initially, we were talking about it, and you said, I want to date girls that are younger than 30.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So now, what's the age? What's the good age to date in Ukraine? Because many guys come here like, I want a 20-year-old. Do they exist? Or what's the age now vision for a guy who's your age and wants to date with plan of creating a family? What age he should approach?
Okay, so if you're around my age or whatever, and you got your money right, you got your mind right, your focus is family, and that's what you want to do, yeah, you got the pick of the litter. Like you can basically date any age group that you want to. If you're into older girls, you can date older girls. If you're into like 23, 24-year-old women, Natalie can find you those girls. Like they exist, and they are actually looking for marriage. So if you want a younger wife, a younger bride or whatever, you can get her. But the thing that blew my mind was like, if you look at like a 30-year-old woman in the West compared to a 30-year-old woman here, like it's just vastly different. Like I would say a 30-year-old woman here is still quality. She's still quality. Like the Ukrainian women, like their value stays intact way longer than a Western chick. By the time a Western chick is like 30 years old, and she's like terrible to be around and like just awful in every way. But like an Eastern Ukrainian girl, like, oh yeah, I've met some baddies that are like 35, 37 and something like that. If you're an older man, like if you're 50 years old and you're looking for like a 35-year-old chick, no problem. You'll find a fantastic woman easily here. That's not...
What I see is actually a big problem. That we have very few women that are younger than 30 that register with us, because at that age, they just don't want a family. Did you see that?
Yeah, and you'll see that on Tinder too. You'll definitely see that. So what you'll end up seeing when you get on Tinder is you'll see like 18, 19, 20, and they're like, they got their Instas on there, and then they're looking for just, clout. They're looking for followers, and they probably have some sugar daddy situation going on where they got some rich dude or a couple of rich dudes or whatever paying for everything. That's the world over though. Like that's like, you can't escape that at this point. Like the internet opened that up to like, boom. Like you're 19 years old and you're pretty. You, as a woman, you got the entire world to milk.
Maybe girls don't know that yet. Maybe many of them.
Okay, there's less that know that. The thing that you'll find is that a lot of young girls in Ukraine, they don't use that. They don't use that dating. So how do you meet these young girls? How do you find out how do you find out about them? Well, you got to make friends. You got to get out in the public. You got to invest time and effort and energy. Natalie can help you a lot with that because she's got a lot of tremendous resources. She can set up different events and stuff like that for you. From what I've been hearing, a lot of the guys that are on her site are looking for, around 30 or something like that. But if you're looking for much younger, 22, 23, 24, something like that, Natalie's really, really good at what she does. I'm sure she could figure
more time.
Yeah, it will take a bit more time because they know what their value is. They know, like, in the world, like, they have the internet. Everybody has the internet. They know a pretty young blonde girl who's 22, 23. She's the top in the world, right? She knows that. So it's going to be a bit harder for you. But if you got, you're from Western country, you got money, you got looks, you got status, you got whatever, and you got a good personality and stuff like that, your family organized, you can still get those girls.
Talking about dating.
Yes.
You were meeting girls on the streets, and you were using mobile apps. Of course, these are two different avenues on meeting people. But what are the pros and cons of each? Like, just your experience.
Well, cold approach is always difficult. It requires a lot of personality. You got to be very confident in who you are. If you're going to walk up to a pretty girl on the street, you better know what you're going to say, how you're going to act, how you're going to react to her actions.
Like pick up skills?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Go to pick up a school and read some books?
Don't do that.
Oh, really?
No, don't do that, because that just teaches you to be a player, and then you're going to look at women like object. Like, you don't give a shit about women. Like, once you get into that world doing that kind of thing, like, it's just like you had her, next, and then it becomes an addiction, just like, like drugs or drinking or something like that. So yeah, don't do that. As far as like meeting her on the street, it's really simple. If she looks twice, she's interested. She's not going to say it, but she's interested. So everybody looks once, everybody looks around once, right? But if she looks twice at you, that means that there's something about you, because generally women walk around like this. They're not interested in anything but like their focus or whatever. So if she's looking at you twice, you must have something that she's interested in. So if that's the case, walk up to her, speak English. Don't worry about your Ukrainian, your Russian skills. You got Google Translate. If you really need it, ask her, hey, I'm looking for what I do. Ask, hey, I'm trying to get to this place. Where is this, right? Whatever. Have a couple of things that you want to say in your mind. Where is something? Hey, I'm trying to get to this location. Or, do you know anything interesting that's around here? Or like, don't initially say like, hey, I saw you looking at me. And because don't acknowledge that fact. Just immediately get into it with her and start talking to her like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm actually looking for this location. Do you know where it is? And she'll if she looked at you twice and she's interested in you, she'll start talking to you, and she'll be comfortable in her own to actually want to communicate with you, and you won't have to put in as much effort. Like, obviously, if you cold approach somebody who's not interested in you, like, you're gonna get rejected.
You will hear it basically.
Oh, right away. Like, but the great thing about in Ukraine is it's not like in the West where you approach a girl and she'll just like slag you. Ukraine, they'll be very polite about it, and but it's like, no, I'm not interested, and then they move on. But they won't. Yeah.
By the way, we wear a wedding ring on the right hand.
Yeah, so it's the opposite over here. It might confuse guys.
Yeah. And like an engagement ring. Like the typical like one diamond ring is not always an engagement ring here, because it's like a diamond ring, and like she can get it as a gift from her parents or something, and I've had a lot of confusion. So if she's wearing a ring that looks like an engagement ring, you should ask about a ring, because it's like not always the I had like guys complaining to me about it.
Okay, I haven't run into that situation, so I can't comment so much on that. Like I said, my cold approach or online, like online, when you get in online is completely different. Obviously, your pictures have to be interesting. You're doing stuff, you're interesting. In your bio, make sure that you put that, what country you're from and something in English, and your height too. Like Ukrainian girls are really interested in height. Like,
they like taller guys.
All around the world, girls want somebody who's taller than them, at least. So, you're going to get a lot of matches. You're just going to get a lot of matches. But with a lot of matches, you're not like, you'll get, this many, and then you'll talk to this many, and then you'll maybe actually get their phone number to this many, and then you'll meet this many. Like, that's just how it is everywhere.
They will ask you though, why are you here?
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, number one question. So why are you in Ukraine?
Yeah.
So what's wrong with your country's women?
Yes,
You know,
yes, exactly.
huh? What are you doing here? Huh? You know, because well, again, they're vetting you. They're trying
What do you want from me?
How long are you here for? Huh?
Yeah.
Is it long enough that I should continue to talk to you or not? Because if it's not, but yeah, no, just be honest with your. Like I personally, I think Tinder here is still kind of viable for finding somebody who is actually looking for a partner.
That's why I don't get clients.
To some degree. But the problem with Tinder, like anything, is like a plethora of options. And then this girl that might have been really good for you, well, you know, you were talking to this girl, or maybe you made plans with that girl or something, and then it didn't work out, and then you never got to meet this person. The great thing what Natalie does is actually she, you know, has this in-depth interview with you and the girl, so she knows them personally, and she's going to know you personally, and then her expertise is bringing you two together.
Shrink. It's like I'm like that net that you know, some like the proper ones get together and like.
Yeah,
here.
no, for sure. And like honestly, like most guys don't have a clue, you know, about women. Let's just be honest. We don't spend as much time like sitting down talking to each other about like, you know, like, oh, what's a good girl? You know, what should I look for in a woman? Like guys don't do that, right? We're like, okay, well, you know, I need to fix the car, or, you know, what am I doing at work or something like that. Like we're not focused on communication as much. So that's all girls do. All girls do is they sit around and they talk about like, you know, what my husband's gonna be like, or what I like in a boyfriend, or, you know, like they're focused on, well, he said this, what does that mean? And like we don't care. We're just like, oh, hey, she looks good in a dress. All right, I guess her. Really, that's all.
At least you're honest.
This is like, oh, hey, you know, her butt's looking good. I like that. Yeah, no, yeah, all right. And even she's saying some nonsense or whatever, you're just gonna ignore it. Like, yeah, no, honey, you look good. Yeah.
How do you know that a girl is playing you? Like you've met different girls. How do you detect? Because sometimes, you know, guys get really like misled.
Yeah, see, that's the hard thing here is because they're going to be doing the same things as the girls that are legitimate. So the girls that are actually looking for serious relationships, like say if you're out there on your own looking for it, their behavior is going to be exactly the same as the girls that are using you. So the girls that are using you are going to be like, super, you know, they're going to be interested in you. They're going to show attention. You know what I mean? Oh, you're cute. You're this, you're that, or whatever. I guess the difference between the two that you can notice or you'll pick up on is the girls that are using you are going to be way too nice to you right off the get-go. Way too nice.
This is what guys want.
Yeah, of course.
They want to hear, oh man, I like you.
Yeah.
They like, you're so cool.
Because in the West, you're so starved for attention, right? Like you're getting ignored. Like Western girls are very picky. They're totally ignoring you. And then you come over here and you heard stories. You know, you hear these stories about like, yeah, you go to Ukraine and all the girls are like just awesome, and then they're gonna approach you and stuff like that. And your expectations are getting really high, and you're like, yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be lit. And then you get over here, and suddenly a bunch of girls are throwing like crazy attention at you, and you're not gonna know like, you know, what is legitimate and what is not. But how, from my experience, what you'll know who is real and who isn't is Ukrainian girl is going to ask hard questions about you. If she's interested, if she's legitimately interested, she's going to ask hard questions. Why are you here? And she'll look at you dead ass in the face and why are you here? Where a girl that's going to use you is going to, she's not going to ask that question. She's going to, oh, wow, I like your shirt. I like this about you. Oh, you're so cute. You're this or that or whatever. And it'll just be nonstop compliments. And then she'll just be asking like, oh, and then, you know, oh, can you take me here? And I need this and stuff like that. And you go to kiss her and like, oh, I'm not like that. No, I'm in Ukraine. I'm a conservative girl. She is like that, but she's not like that with you because you're her target. You're her mark.
Yep.
And but like that's how you're gonna know if a girl is like overly you know, enthusiastic about you, somebody who she does not know at all. She's running a scam.
You're smart. You've been here just for months, and it's your first time in Ukraine, and you were already like telling the stuff that's
Well, I mean, like this kind of stuff is like the world over. Like regardless of where you go in the country or in the world or whatever, like you're gonna run into this kind of stuff everywhere to certain degrees. To certain degrees, I would say in Ukraine that the women are way more honest. That's the thing that I really loved about Ukrainian women is their honesty. Like they'll flat out tell you, I don't like this about you, or I like this. You will know, and she means it. It's not like some girl code for something else where you're sitting there like, man, what the hell is she talking about? What is that? What do you? Something about bananas. No, like when she says like, look, I don't like strawberries. She really doesn't like strawberries. It's not some kind of like trap to like trick you up or something like that. Like you're getting the honesty, the real honesty. Yeah. So yeah, there's shit tests. Yes, 100% there's shit tests, but the shit tests are like logical. And that's what I loved about Ukrainian girls is they're very, very logical. Like, yeah, they can be emotional, of course. Girls are emotional everywhere. But when they ask the hard questions, when they ask the serious, get to know you or vet you or find out about you, they're going to be, honest. And it's going to, it's like, so what kind of relationship are you looking for? And they don't want some vague answer. Yeah. They want to hear, I'm looking to get married. I'm legitimately looking for a wife.
And it's good to say this. Yeah.
Sure, where like if you say it in the West, the girl's gonna run away because she's boss babe. She wants to be like the head of the company or something like that, and just get married, have kids. I don't want to do that. No, but like the girls here legitimately still do until
If you don't talk about family, she's like wondering why.
Yeah.
Why are you spending time? Why am I wasting time with you, right?
I mean, like, of course you're going to run into like girls that are like 40 years old and you will meet them and they're like, no, I don't want kids. I don't want family or.
I don't know such girls. Like where did you find them?
Tinder.
No, at 40, like girls that come to me, like being 40, she says like, my clock, I want a child. Like I will never date a guy who doesn't want to get
her clock is broken because.
Well, you didn't say that. Now talking about girls.
Okay.
Right? Because, we do have girls that are watching us and I want them to know, like, also have the clue that, like, what advice can you give to
like
girls?
If guys are serious or not?
Who want to meet a foreign man and the man is coming to Kiev or men are coming to Kiev. So, what would you recommend to girls? How you would recommend to, like, what things to pay attention to? Because it's like, what I've noticed that why people date internationally is because they don't read the game. Because we behave differently.
Oh, yeah.
Like similar guy, like even I saw with the big charity organization where I was a member of, I saw successful Ukrainian guys getting married to foreign girls. Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't, like, what country? What countries?
Still our guys. Like, one guy was married to a girl from UK, another an American girl, but it's rare.
Okay.
Right? So, successful guys are good everywhere, but
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, obviously.
But what I am saying is that what would you recommend to girls to pay attention to? And we date internationally. Yeah, that's my train of thought. Like we date internationally because a girl is meeting a guy and he's dressed differently. And the way he's dressed in Ukraine means X, Y, and Z to her, and it's like he's trash. Or like if people judge quickly and where he lives, what he does, and the same in the same country. But when you're coming from a different place, you carry a different value, and you don't have the same stigmas in your brain, and you don't have the same pain in your emotional baggage. And that's what people are actually gaining, because they can't. A girl, when she's dating, girls are often telling me, like, when I'm dating a Ukrainian guy, I literally, like on a first date, I can literally say what he's going to say next.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With a foreigner, you can't do that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely more interesting, for sure.
Yeah, more interesting. But what would you advise to girls, like how to vet the guy, what to pay attention to, and like maybe even like your ideas on how to get a better guy, a better foreigner, because there are all types of foreigners and they can't read him.
Yeah, no,
thoughts.
there's definitely some miscommunications as well, and like our sarcasm is very different than their sarcasm. Which is
Joking.
like, oh, joking is like you'll see your jokes go like way over her head. She just won't get it. Like they just won't click. Like clue into like something that might be really funny for us. They're just still the dead stare at you, waiting for the punchline. Like no, that was it. Like that was the joke.
I know what you're talking about.
I've had some like really good zingers or whatever, and the girl just looked at me dead in the face, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. How do I, But yeah, there's definitely cultural things. Obviously, if the Ukrainian girl is interested in dating guys from other countries, she's most likely has watched foreign TV. Maybe she has an interest in that particular.
She has to watch a foreign TV.
Oh,
if she wants to date Western guys, she needs to read some Western books.
Oh,
That's the advice.
culture. Yeah, the culture. Like obviously, like you're coming to Ukraine, you want a Ukrainian woman, you should be interested in the culture here as well. Just like if she's coming or she wants a foreign guy, wherever it may be, she probably already has some interest in that culture. And like if you're trying to get a guy from a specific country, please, as a Ukrainian girl, learn about that country, because when you bring up certain things, like if you watch Rick and Morty, you know what I mean? Like if there's a lot of different TV shows, and if you bring it up, then you'll have that connection a lot better. And this girl and me, we watch the same TV show. I'm obviously going to pick her over this other girl. They're both pretty. Like there's pretty girls here. So who brings more value to me? Obviously, it's going to be the person that's more invested in the other person's culture, right? And it's the same thing, guys and girls. Show your interest. If you're a Ukrainian girl and you're looking like, hey, where are these foreign guys? They're everywhere you are. If they're here in Kyiv, they're where you are. Listen for that English. You will hear it all over. And don't be shy to go up to them and talk to them. Like, just because you're talking to them doesn't mean like you're giving yourself to them. It's just, hey, how's it going? How you liking Kyiv, And the guy like, oh yeah, it's not bad. And you just strike up a conversation, It doesn't have to mean anything. But obviously, like doing stuff is how you meet people. Like there's meet foreigner events, like cultural things. Like, some guys like to go, so Odessa, obviously, a lot of, foreign guys go to Odessa to go swimming.
They know what they do in Odessa.
Please, guys, go to Odessa but come back.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. But I mean, like, obviously, like, it's a cheap, easy place to go down to if you want to go to the beach, go swimming in the ocean, stuff like that. And you see all the girls in the bikini.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, like,
Yes.
no, I mean, like, cheap as in money value to go down there compared to, like, somewhere else, right? Obviously, Maldives or something, right? It's going to be cheaper to do that. But yeah, obviously, like, I don't know why, but you should be able to tell, like, if the guy's from the West, you can tell by how he's dressed. Like, I'm looking around at the crowd, like, oh yeah, that guy's from, not Ukraine. Because like Ukrainian people have a certain way of dressing, and Western people have a certain way of dressing depending on their countries. And like, you should be able to pick up on that because we're like the peacock surrounded by hippos or something, Because the Ukrainian girl, you should be able to see that. Like, it's obvious. I still have people come up to me and they're speaking like Ukrainian and Russian. I'm like, for real? Like, I'm not like anybody here. Like, just look at me. I look completely different than Ukrainian people. So, if you got like a sharp eye, you should be able to pick up on it. But like, as far as like communication, if you want to, get their attention or something like that, like, yeah, I mean, you already got it physically. Physically, that's the reason why they're there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just, be soft and nice and stuff. Like.
Well, I've noticed that foreign girls are more communicative. And this is something that I see Ukrainian girls missing. Because yes, they will burn you alive on a first date, like asking you all these, like, why are you here questions. But they won't tell you much about themselves.
Yeah.
They will be more secretive. A foreign girl, like once I've been lucky to fly with a foreign girl.
Yeah.
I knew about
everything.
her grandmother's boyfriends and her cats.
Her blood type, her astral sign.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
a hernia she had in grade 3 or something. Yeah, no, they'll tell you all their baggage and stuff like that. And
Why?
disclose too much information for
Yeah.
sure. No, I mean, like, personally, I don't have a problem with that because I don't want to hear everything about you right away because that's going to turn me off immediately. A girl's going to say like, about some like sick, sadistic thing that happened in her past or whatever. And it's like, oh, I just said hello, and are you sitting there? And you just told me about like, some traumatic thing that happened a long time ago.
Will tell you probably that after a year of a relationship.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
And then guys freak out. Foreign guys, I had several foreign guys confessing to me that, I broke up with my girlfriend. I was going to marry her because she told me she was like dating an older guy and it was a disaster. Like for him, like it was an ego thing or something. But like he was in love with a girl, but she can't disclose this information, and he was expecting to hear it right away. I mean,
yeah, I mean, like, guys want to always think they're number one in the girl's life. Like, they don't want to believe that the girl had been with any other men. Like, that's just the way it is. That's why women lie about how many partners they have, obviously. And, you want to be where no other man's been. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we go to the moon. That's why we go to other countries, places and stuff like that. That's why men do that kind of thing, is because we want to know that we're there. And so, like, some guys are going to have hang-ups, Like, some guys don't want to date certain girls that have been with men from other races and stuff like that. It just happens when they hear that they've done that kind of thing, or, like, certain amount of partners is a big one, like double, triple. A Western girl has no problem. 100 guys by the time she's 21, 22, and you're just like, oh, and you're proud of that. Hey, all right, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, for sure. Oh, I know a few high school girls, or girls that I went to high school with, that they were in the triple digits before they graduated high school. Pretty much every guy. They slept with every guy in high school.
No wonder guys are coming to Ukraine, because if they know that those girls have slept with the entire village.
I mean, like, can you imagine, like, you're hanging out in your town and, like, every single guy smash your girl? Like, obviously you're not going to be interested in her, right? I mean, I know feminism is teaching us, like, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. And, like, it's the heart that counts and stuff. But, like, really, that's going to bother you. Deep down that's going to bug you to know that your girl's been with every guy, right? So obviously, like, in this situation, Natalie's talking about, the guy didn't like the fact that this girl was with an older man. It probably, in his mind, he was thinking like, oh yeah, she's a gold digger. She was with this old guy to get all his money or something like that, and like maybe she's gonna do that to me. Like his insecurities are gonna be going too. At the same time, I probably would be thinking that. I'm like, you're 25. What are you doing with a 50-year-old man? I would start like, really, where are your values? Like, what's important to you? Something I would be thinking the same thing too. So I mean, like, if a girl did that kind of thing, she should either never tell the guy, or tell the guy, like, find out, like, conversation, like, what are his triggers, and if that's something like his trigger, like, get that out of the way right away. Like, yeah, this is what I did.
Yeah.
Either that, or just don't say. Just like, okay, past is past. Kind of take that kind of mentality about it, and don't tell him. Like, he doesn't need to know. Unless it's like, like really important.
Talking about coming here, it's your first time in Kiev.
Okay. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've only been to Lviv before in the past.
Okay. So
many years ago.
But coming to Ukraine, you have certain expectations what it will be like when you hear the news, when you watch what's happening, and when you hear that we had Chernobyl, we had this, we had that, we had 4 revolutions already. So it's like your expectations and the reality that you saw.
Okay, so when I told everybody I was coming here, they're like, "Oh my God, the country's at war."
God bless you.
But they're at war with Russia. What are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, but that's only, on the eastern side. Like, that's not the whole country. No. You're gonna. And what about, Chernobyl? You're gonna get radiation poisoning. And like, everybody has all these kind of like crazy ideas.
Or women, they will scam you.
Yeah. Okay. So scams, war, radiation poisoning, stuff like that. Like, yeah, those 3 things. Yeah, you don't have to worry about any of that. Of course, they have issues with Russia right now. But if you go Kyiv, Lviv, Odessa, like there's a whole bunch of cities that you can go to in Ukraine that you won't even know that this is happening. Like it's not something that you need to worry about. I don't know. I've been here a month and a half. I didn't get any radiation poisoning. I don't know. My hair is still in.
You see how much you're glowing.
Yeah, I guess not.
I can see that. I got the eye train.
Yeah, skin's turning green, right? Yeah, no, those 2 things. Don't even worry about it. Like. the people that say that before you leave, that's their insecurity. Like there's something about themselves that they're worried about that they're projecting onto you. It really has nothing to do with you. When they tell you like, oh my God, the country's at war. Oh my God, you know, you got to worry about radiation or scammers or something like that. That's something that they're dealing with. It really, if you don't have a problem, you should just come. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, okay, scammers, sure. There's scammers in the West too, you know. Everywhere there's scammers. But
even worse than.
Oh, sure.
By the way, we don't have the homeless people. Do you see them?
Oh yeah, where are the homeless? It's not like in the West. Like Toronto is like tent city. Like the entire city is like there's tents all over the place. Like they started to clean it up a little bit in some of the parks, but like yeah, the homeless epidemic in the West is like phenomenal. But here in Ukraine, like
you don't see.
Where?
They just.
Where are the homeless?
They have homes.
Yeah, I
just
get.
Drink.
Yeah. You'll see drunks. Yeah, you'll definitely see drunks. But
they collect bottles.
Yeah.
They collect paper.
Yeah.
They make a living like this.
Oh, like if you're even like contemplating to come to Kyiv, like stop right away, come, because Kyiv is phenomenal. Like even if you don't come for like dating or whatever, like just come see the city. Like it's phenomenal. Like Eastern Europe's got a lot of great stuff.
I have other videos on my channel about different places around Kyiv, and then you can rent a car. And some guys were asking about car rental companies. We have Hertz. They are everywhere. So just Google them, or even I think on Airbnb you can also like rent a car or something like that.
Sure.
And Airbnb is here, and all the brands are here. So just do it safe way, and see it. And we have like world class fishing spots that I'm having a video about soon. Watch the announcements. We have like world class resorts near the river. You don't have to swim in the river. They will have a swimming pool. They will have spa. They will have sauna. They will have beautiful pine forest that is world class capped.
Sure.
You don't know about this. You think like it's like the third world here, right?
I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely parts of Ukraine that are like that. Like, no cap, seriously, there is. But, like, if you go to, you're going to see it, obviously. But if you go to, like, I even went, like, I went to Zatoka. I went down there. And, like, yeah, there's...
Zatoka's not that bad.
No, I know. But, I mean, like, in the mind of somebody from the West, right, they're going to think, like, if they look at it on the map, they're going to go, oh, yeah, that's, like, you know, Baghdad or something. Like, it's some, like... it's going to be, like, some third world place, right, in their mind. But when you go there, like, they have... Zatoka's got a fantastic castle that you can go through. You practice archery. You put on the armor stuff. I did all that. It was a lot of fun. And it's really cheap to get to. It's a nice little trip or whatever. They got lots of stuff like that.
Is the name of that.
It's good. It's good. And like all the people in the area are like friendly and stuff like that. So it's a great way to see lots of different things.
Yep. And one of the like top questions. I see guys that have concerns coming to use a matchmaker. Because some say it's a shame to use a matchmaker, right? Because I don't know, what will I say to my family or friends that I'm not capable of finding myself a girl, and like it's an ego talking, right? But from your perspective, now you've known how things work, now you've dated on your own, now you know me. So what's the value for a guy coming and using a matchmaker versus to like dating on his own, using Tinder and then meeting girls on the streets?
Okay, well, yeah, obviously in the West there's a stigma against matchmaking service because we don't have it, we don't use it.
You have it.
There's
like your matchmakers are like charging top bucks, like 100,000 for a chat.
Okay, but like that didn't like, that's not commonplace. Like in Eastern Europe.
Lots of Canadian matchmakers, like they're charging 10 grand like this just for talking to you.
But like the average person is not going to know about that, and they're not going to do that. Like that, like you said, 100,000. Average person's not going to drop 100,000 on a relationship. They're just not going to do that, right?
Okay,
so obviously that's.
Grand.
Oh, but even still, 25 grand, like the average dude is not going to do that, right? So like for a long time, like in the West, we don't have that kind of thing. So there's a stigma against Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that. You're buying a bride, mail order bride, stuff like that. And I don't know how it used to be. Maybe there was something like that. I don't know. But for like Natalie's service, like you're coming to a completely different world with a completely different mindset. So whatever, you know, is going on in the West is not going on here. So when you come here for, you know, dating and stuff like that, people here are used to that. They've been doing that for a long time, matchmaking, bringing people together, whether it was like family members or businesses or something like that. So it's not some weird concept over here in Ukraine. Like it's very normal. And from my personal experience is that Natalie will save you a lot of time, money, effort, energy. She's going to vet all the girls for you. She's going to set it all up. She's going to, vet you as well, because you might not be ready for relationships.
Oh yeah. I don't take any guy for a client.
Yeah. And so especially if like, you got your own business, or you're making your money, or you're busy or whatever, like you're not going to have the time to come here and take time off to do this. And even if you do come here and you do date a lot and you do meet a lot of girls and stuff like that, like it's still very difficult to find that girl that is going to match with you and your personality. Like Natalie's going to take all that time, effort, and energy that you would have spent doing that, and she's gonna do that. Like that's why you pay her. Like that's why she does it.
Yeah, I charge $100 an hour. That's easy. It's easy. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like like her website and everything is set up so that when you get on here, she's already vetted the girls. She knows that's what they want.
True.
She's talked to them. She knows everything about them or whatever, and she's gonna find out about you too. And you actually develop like a close personal relationship with Natalie, and you can obviously tell, like just from her talking, that she actually cares. Like I didn't just do this for no money for no reason. Like I think what Natalie's doing is just like it's a noble cause, and it's really important, especially nowadays when it's just hookup culture everywhere. Nobody cares about each other. You just use and abuse, pump and dump, throw away, stuff like that. Like what she's doing is extremely valuable, because she's going to cut through all that. You're not going to have to deal with that, the headache, the time, the effort wasted on some girl that's just terrible, who you don't know who is good and who isn't good because you're too busy with work, or maybe you just don't have enough experience talking to girls or something like that. Natalie's gonna do all that for you, and you can see on her website all the guys and the videos and stuff like that talking about like the success. And come in here, you're going to see it. You're gonna see the value in the women. Like, I'm just a regular dude. I came here because I wanted to see it for my own eyes. I wanted to see, like, are Ukrainian women actually, do they have value? Are they important? And you will notice that as soon as you come here. Like, so.
Very general feedback, by the way, Ben. When I'm setting up the dates, and the guy said, I'm in trouble. I say, what happens is I can't marry them all. Before, the same guy will say, you don't have attractive girls. Like they are used to swiping. They're used to like magazines and like Photoshop and all. It's like, girls aren't good enough. And then they will like say, how can I go on myself and marrying like all of them? Like I wish I could bring all my good friends and get married and all. So, well, thank you for your good words. Because
well, I mean, like that's the hard thing that I have when I'm back home and I'm telling everybody, like, what are you doing with that pig? What are you doing with her? Dude, seriously, you gotta need to go to Eastern Europe. Like, why are you waiting?
So bad. Like, come on, there are some good girls. It's not bad. Well, it's now okay. All right.
I mean, like, yeah, sure, but you're probably not gonna see her. She's on some yacht somewhere, off the coast, California or something like that. Those good girls gets grabbed up really quick. But yeah, the majority of guys, you're probably not dating, a very high quality girl in the West. You're just not. You come to Eastern Europe and you're gonna have your pick of the litter. There's gonna be lots of them. But you also have to bring value. You can't come here as a slob. You can't come here as a bum and expect the best. You can do that in the Philippines, but you can't do that here.
Have you been to the Philippines?
No, but everybody knows about the Philippines. But yeah, no, I mean, like, obviously, if you come to Ukraine, you're expecting quality, and quality is here. It's not, all the time I'll read in comment section like, Eastern European girls are saying like Western, and they're just going to use you, and all those scammers and stuff. Yeah, that's all BS. Like, yeah, that definitely exists. There's definitely girls that do that, but they are not the majority. They're the minority. And if you're a sucker for that kind of thing, like if you're like emotionally like distant or like messed up or something like that, they're looking for you. If you're solid in who you are and what you know, that girl's not going to try to get to you, because she'll try her scam and immediately you'll know, and immediately you'll cut her, and then immediately you'll move on. It won't be a problem. The reason why you're getting scammed is because you have some kind of emotional or mental problem from your past that you went through that you didn't fix, and these girls prey on that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And when I'm telling these kind of guys, like, this is a psychotherapist. I have videos with Oleg Orlov, Professor Orlov. He is like right on the spot. You need like a few meetings with him and he shows you the direction and you fix yourself. But no, what I hear is like resistance. Like, no, I'm fine. I have my own. I will pay like million to somebody like instead of like having 3 sessions with.
Oh, if that's the case, give me your million, buddy. Give me your million. I'll take care of you. Don't worry, man. I'll find you some girls. I got some phone numbers here.
Now, my favorite question, the MGTOW guys.
Oh, okay.
I hear lots of comments of the MGTOW
Community.
saying very, very, very negative about like women and all. And when I read their comments, I cry because that's how guys are treating, rich guys are treating women here.
Yeah.
Like if he's got money,
Yeah.
he will leave her, he will abandon her and like not even like pay the alimony and she will cry. And like, even though the law is for women and protects women here, he can still get away with it because of like all the like techniques that he has set up before. And it's like the other way around. Like our answer to the MGTOW guys like was like very negative about women. Is there a chance for them? Because like I believe that not all MGTOW guys like are really there because they just monks. I believe that some of them are just there because they try to find like some camaraderie with support, right? So that are the guys that I want to direct.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like MGTOW exists for a reason. Guys got burned really bad in divorce courts. The Western society is set up for men to lose. That's just the way it is. MGTOW exists as like, it's not like a movement or anything. It's just like a mentality. It's just like you're going your own way, you're doing your own thing. You don't want to play that game anymore. So I totally understand those guys. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys in the MGTOW community that would benefit from a Ukrainian girl. She's not going to play those games with you. She's not going to fuck you around. She won't. She will be like a loyal woman to you. There's a lot of possibilities there. Like don't close your mind totally just because Western girls are crazy. Like not all women are the same. Like what Natalie was talking about is true. It's like the opposite effect of what's going on in the West is happening here. So men have all the power, all the the sway, whatever. They can get away with all kinds of terrible behavior, and the women get punished for it. And there's a lot of competition for women, so they have to try really hard to get a good man, get a quality man. So in the West, it's the opposite of that. It's the way it is. So as a Western guy, honestly, man, your best interest is to come over here if you're looking for a wife. Like I said, if you want to marry and be in Ukraine, you're like totally fed up with like Western whatever, make sure you have a contingency plan that you're going to be making some kind of money, some kind of like online, you got some kind of business or whatever, you're doing crypto, you're whatever, you have something set up so that you will be able to, survive over here. The cost of living is much lower here. If you're able to make, a few $1,000s a month, on top of like she's going to want to work, she'll work, you'll be totally fine for sure. Or if you want to take her back to the West, in my opinion, that'd be the best way because you're going to make the most money. Your earning potential in the West is going to be much higher than it would be over here. But whatever you do, like make sure that you really think it out before you do it. But as long as you do, there's tons of opportunity here. There's still a lot of great women. Feminism hasn't tainted Ukraine yet. Like you can see little like hairs of it here and there around, like especially like the young girls, 16, 17, something like that. You can see that they're kind of biting on the idea of feminism. But it hasn't taken hold like it is in the West, and it probably won't for the next 20 years, 30 years, maybe. It still takes a while because like Natalie's saying, they're not always, watching Western media like a lot of countries are. They're still like very interested in their own country and their own culture and stuff like that. So, you would totally find a girl here that you don't have to worry about.
Well, to finish this conversation, because it was a conversation. It was like
no, for sure. It was good. I think we hashed out a lot of what's going on, debunked a lot of the myths or a lot of the thoughts that guys have, on Ukraine or the way things are going. Like, I'm not paid. I'm doing this because I legitimately care about this. I care about like what's going on in the West. I don't like it. Obviously, I'm here for a reason. I don't like Western girls. But I'm saying all of these things for you guys, so that you're not there and thinking like, well, is it? Isn't it? Really? Isn't? Are they all terrible? No, really. There are good girls here.
It's not going to last forever though, because we are changing fast, and I see these tendencies. And now I see some of the girls here, like younger girls, like with tattoos all over. Like I'm thinking, what's her mom doing? Like, where's her dad? Like, why is she already like all covered with tattoos?
Yeah.
But the thing is that actually marrying a foreign girl is a challenge. It becomes less of a challenge nowadays with the world becoming a smaller place. And here's the example. Ben coming from Canada, staying in Ukraine, like looking for a farm. I'm sure he'll end up with wedding bells ringing. Do you know that you can get married in 3 days?
In here? Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
I'll tell you how.
Okay.
So, but the point is that it's not for anyone, okay? You need to be emotionally stable. You need to be able to provide. You need to have like strong household. You need to have strong mind and a vision of your future. Because if you deliver pizza, if you're a student in your country, like whatever, Germany, France, I don't know, Italy, I don't know, like Canada, US, then you're just at the start of your career. And Ukrainian girl will not, like, she has guys like this here.
Yeah.
So you need to be like financially secure to come here first. But then before you decide to come here, I would advise you to come to my matchmaking consultation and talk to me. Spend $100, like I was saying. Like, spend $100, have an hour, maybe like 2 hours of meeting, and ask your hardcore questions. And before you do that, I will ask you to like fill out some questionnaire so I can analyze the information you're going to give me. If I'm not taking you as a client, I will archive all that, or like will delete the information. I don't need that. But definitely you can learn what will be your benefits from the perspective of a person who's been 25 years in this business, who's like happily married with 3 kids.
Yeah. No, at the very least, Natalie will tell you if you're ready or not. Yeah. And that's, very important information, because you just might not be ready.
Because I don't want you for my girls if you aren't ready, if you aren't stable enough in your life. It will be just not fair. I don't want your money if you are not ready. I'd rather tell you the plan, send you to a personal coach. I have a like superb, like world level personal coach. She's a girl. She's like super cool. And she's very like affordable. I have like a psychotherapist who can help you heal. I have all sorts of contacts that will help you prepare. And I can also share some contacts of past clients, now good friends of mine who are happily married, if you want to talk to them. Just don't trust us. Check it yourself, right? Come to the consultation, spend little, and then make your conclusion.
Oh yeah, I would even say, come to Ukraine, check it out, just to see, just get an idea of like, oh wow, like what we're saying is true, and see for yourself or whatever. And then get talking to Natalie, because she will help you get from point A to point D very easily without going through all the BS of trying to figure it out on your own. It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job. Dating is a full-time job. And why not hire somebody to do that job for you, right? I mean, that's why we send all our jobs to China, right?
To Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly. No, she takes a lot of the headache out of it, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, although the guarantee is your power, your understanding what you need, your good emotions, your genuine values and your feelings and your willingness to move forward in your life. Is this right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. It's got to be something that you really want. Yeah. Not just have fun. If you're just going to have fun, there's no point in contacting Natalie.
Go to Thailand.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's satisfaction guarantee. Yeah. Thailand.
Yeah.
Here, we don't give promises. You may fall in love, but
Oh yeah,
Things happen.
exactly.
Oh, well then, thank you.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
think
It's good.
guys gonna learn something. And thank you for watching us. It's Matchmaking Boutique by Natali Koval. Possible. Love is possible. Relationship is possible. Anything is possible.
Definitely, 100%.
When you know the right people and you are determined to get where you want. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck, guys.